to my class. Today we will practice narration of speech question analysis. Okay, so you should try to open your pen and papers and try to practice it. Okay, so ready for the class? Okay. Question analysis. At first, I will present the question. You should read it. You should read the question carefully. Okay. Change the narrative style by using indirect speeches. So, you should read out the speech at first. Why did you stop me? I didn't do anything wrong, did I? Asked Ria. You were driving too fast, said the traffic sergeant, giving him a glare. Now, show me your driving license. So this is the speech, and you should try to understand who is the speaker of the speeches. How many speeches are there in this conversation? How many speeches are there? Okay, you should try to understand how many inverted commas are there. First one, why did you stop me? I didn't do anything wrong, did I? Close the inverted comma. Asked Ria. So the first speech is spoken by who? Who is the speaker here? Who is the speaker of the first speech? This one, the first speech, and is spoken by whom? Ria. So, which one the second speech? You were driving too fast, said the traffic sergeant. Comma. There is no full stop, so the speech is continuing. Giving him a glare. Comma. The speech is continuing. Now, show me your driving license. Who is the speaker of this speech? There is no full stop. So, both speeches are spoken by whom? The both speeches are spoken by the traffic sergeant, because there is no full stop here. This is the phrase added here, but there is no full stop and continuing the speeches. So you should try to understand the speech. If you fail to understand who is the speaker and listener, you will make mistake. Understand? So be careful about their speeches. Understand? The speaker and listener are very important to sense a passage direct to indirect form. Understand? Okay. Now, you may start. To sense the speech, please take your pen and papers. Okay. So first speech, why did you stop me? I didn't do anything wrong, did I? Asked Ria. So in the first speech, how many sentences are there? There are two sentences. Why did you stop me? First one sentence, it is interrogative sentence, and the second one, I didn't do anything wrong, did I? Is it? What's the sentence? Is it interrogative sentence? No. It's an assertive sentence, but a tag question here. The assertive sentence is combined with a question tag. So how many speeches are there? There are two sentences in this speech. How many sentences are there? Two sentences. So at the time while you are changing the speech, you should try to understand the sentences. If you are able to understand the sentences, then you start to change them. At first, you should change the first sentence according to the rule. Okay? So you should take the reporting speech at the beginning of the speech. You should take them in indirect speech. You should take the reporting speech at the beginning. Okay? So you should take ask here. It should come at the beginning of the indirect speech. Okay. So you make sense. So you should change the first sentence, why did you stop me? This is interrogative sentence. This is interrogative sentence, and you should sense it according to the rule of interrogative sentence. Understand? Okay. So you should sense Riyad asked Riyad. So you should take Riyad asked, and you should take the object. There is no object of the reporting speech. You should take the object. Who is the another speaker? Sergeant. The conversation is between the Riyad and the traffic sergeant. So you should take the object. So who would come in the object? The traffic sergeant, because Riyad is talking to the traffic sergeant. Understand that the traffic sergeant is the listener here. The traffic sergeant at the first speech, Riyad is the speaker, and the traffic sergeant is the listener. So you should take Riyad asked the traffic sergeant. Okay? You should take Riyad asked the traffic sergeant. You should take the object here. You should take the listener here. There is no listener here, but we know that the conversation is between Riyad and traffic sergeant. So first speaker is Riyad and the listener is traffic sergeant. So you should take it. Understand? Then you should remove the comma and use why, WS word, as a conjunction. We know that in interrogative sentence you should take a conjunction if the interrogative sentence start with WS word such as who, which, what, why, how, etc. You should take them. If the interrogative sentence start with auxiliary verb, you should take if as a conjunction. Okay, so we should take why as a conjunction here. Next, you should take the subject. So who is the subject here? Did you? You is the subject here. So we know that you is second person. Second person should refer to the object listener. So who is the listener? The traffic sergeant. So what is the pronoun of the traffic sergeant? Of course, he. So he is. You should take he instead of you here, and I marked S. S means traffic sergeant. Okay, because he can be used. He can be used both of Riyad and traffic sergeant. So you should indicate like this. Okay. Next, you should sense the verb. So which one is verb? What's the tense? Did you stop? It's past indefinite tense. Past indefinite tense. So if there is past indefinite tense in the reported indirect speech, in the reported speech, so it should be sensed if there is past form in the reporting speech. Okay, so you should sense past indefinite tense into past perfect tense. So what's the structure of past perfect tense? Subject plus had plus the past partial form of main verb. So you should use them. So it has been transformed into past perfect tense. Okay. So next, there is a pronoun me, first person objective form. So pronoun first person should indicate the subject of the reporting speech. So me indicates Riyad. So what's the pronoun of Riyad? He. And what's the objective of he? Objective form is him. Me is in objective form, so you should use he in objective form, him. Okay. Okay. Next one. We have sensed the first sentence of the first speech. Okay. Next, second sentence. I didn't do anything wrong, did I? So there is a question tag. So if there is any question tag or tag question with a sentence, you should use with a question tag. You should use with a question tag at the beginning of the speech instead of the tag question. Okay. Follow here. With a question tag, that means we want to remove it. there is a tag question. If there is any tag question, you should use with a question tag. Okay? You should use with a question tag. Next, comma. You should use a comma here. Okay. Now, you should use again the subject he. Who is he? Real, because the speaker of the sentence is real. So we use noun at the beginning, at the first speech, and in the second speech you should use the pronoun. Okay, and indicate real by R. Okay, added that. It's a assertive sentence. You may use added that, or you may use also told him that, or also said that, etc. You may use any one of them. I used here added that, no problem here. Okay, then subject. With subject I. So if you use here, he also told him that, you may use, because you may use here the object. If you don't use, no problem. As I used, follow it. He added that. Why should you use that? Because this is assertive sentence, and you should use the conjunction that at the beginning of the assertive sentence. Okay. Next, subjects. Who is subject? I. I is first person. First person should refer the subject of the reporting speech. Who is subject here? He. So he comes here instead of I. That means real. He is here real. Okay. Didn't do anything. It's past indefinite tense. It should be changed into past perfect tense. Hadn't done anything wrong. Okay. So we have changed the first speech of the conversation, and it was the speech of real. Next, second one. You were driving too fast, said the traffic sergeant. So who is the speaker here? The traffic sergeant. Giving him a glare. Glare means to stare at him. To stare at him. Okay. Giving him a glare. If you found any phrases like that, you should use the phrases at the beginning of the speeches. It would be easy for you. Okay. So give a sense in like this. Giving him, that means R. This him refers to R, real. Him refers to real. So I used R. Okay. Again, comma. The traffic sergeant told him. Why should I use told him? I take traffic sergeant. The traffic sergeant is the speaker, and who is the listener? Here. So I used him. The traffic sergeant told him. The traffic sergeant told him. Him refers to real. Okay, because the traffic sergeant is the speaker of the speech, and listener is real. So him refers to real, and we use told instead of said, because this you were driving too fast. It's a assertive sentence. It's an assertive sentence. Okay. Next. At the beginning, omitting the inverted comma, we should use that because it's an assertive sentence. Okay. Subject. You is second person. So second person refers to object. Who is second person? Who is object here? Him. Real, because real is the listener, and listener should be the object. So you refers to real. So what's the pronoun of real? He. We use he instead of you. Okay. Next, you should change the tense of the speech. While driving. Past continuous tense. So past continuous tense should be transformed into past perfect continuous tense. So you should use had been driving. Had been driving, and the rest of the sentence too fast. We use too fast. Okay. The first one is completed. Then the second one. The second one is delivered by the traffic sergeant. So you should add with the first sentence of this speech. Okay. Now you should try to understand the sentence. What's the sentence? Now, note of exclamation. Then, show me your driving license. There is no subject. It's a imperative sentence. It's a imperative sentence, and the traffic sergeant say it Riyadh. Say to Riyadh, show me. That means traffic sergeant ordered Riyadh. Of course, sergeant ordered Riyadh to show his driving license. So you may use, join the speech with this first speech, with the first sentence. You join with then, because the speaker is the speaker is traffic sergeant here, and both speeches are delivered by the traffic sergeant. Okay, so you should use and then. We know that if there is now, you should use then, and this is note of exclamation. So I use here surprisingly. You may use surprisingly instead of note of exclamation. You follow, and then surprisingly, and then surprisingly. Now change it to then, and you should use surprisingly instead of the note of exclamation. Surprisingly, and it's a imperative sentence. It's an imperative sentence, so you should use ordered. Ordered him. That means here. So the traffic sergeant ordered here. Okay. If there is imperative sentence, so what's the rule of imperative sentence? You should use to at the beginning of the speech, or to plus verb. To plus verb. So you should use to plus verb to show. Next, you should send the pronoun me. Me means first person. So who is the speaker of the speech? Traffic sergeant. So me should refer the subject of the reporting speech, traffic sergeant. So what's the pronoun of traffic sergeant? He, and he should be changed into objective form him, because me is in objective form. Okay, and you should indicate with a sergeant. Okay. Your second person positive form. Second person should refer to object. Who is the listener here? Riyadh. So Riyadh is, you should refer to Riyadh. And which one is pronoun of Riyadh? Pronoun is he, and he should be changed into possessive form his. So you should use his instead of your. Okay. Then the rest of the sentence, driving license. Driving license. The speech has been finished. Okay. In this way, you should try to change the speeches. You should try to change the speeches. So you should read again, and you should try to solve the question by yourself. If there is any problem, you should inform me. Okay. Okay. So let's. We may finish the class. Thank you everybody to watch my class.